Continue working out. You know, they say boxing is the loneliest sport in the world.
Yeah, and it's the most physical sport as well for your body.
I think you should retire that jersey. I beg your pardon, sir?
Me and my mother loves your show.
Your mother loves
Yes.
to watch a TV show called Court in Providence?
Yes.
Is there anything you want to say to your mother?
How you doing, Mom?
That if you don't have 3 cents in your pocket, $80 is like $1 million. What do you think? Is he stupid?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, these guys just made friends.
A motorist explains how the world's most violent sport keeps her young. Have you ever heard of legendary boxing? If you haven't, that makes two of us. Sit tight and let's find out.
It's just training that I do, stay in shape and have some self-defense. So try to stay young a little bit. Keep my bones young, at least.
She boxes just to work out and not to become a fighter. She gives punches, but she doesn't take, and it's obvious because she's in very good shape. Judge Frank asked if she punches the heavy bag and the speed bag. She replied, saying she punches the heavy bag as a kind of warm-up, but not the speed bag because she's still trying to learn how to be quicker with her hands.
You know, people watch people punch the speed bag. They think they punch it like this. They punch it like this, you know.
Yeah, you punch it with the side of your hand.
You punch it with, the side of your hand, right? This is it, right? Mm-hmm. Did you ever see them?
It's keeping
impressive.
up with the bag.
She mentioned that she was taught how to get in a fighting stance. He asked if she could show the court, and she jokingly said she would, only if it'd help with the ticket. Better help with the ticket. Her car was booted, and conforming to what she said, she wasn't aware of the tickets, as the tickets were sent to Cleveland, where she's originally from.
That's where I'm originally from. I've been in Providence for about 3 years now.
Does the car still have an Ohio plate on it?
Yes.
Why isn't it registered in Rhode Island?
I just the COVID thing happened, and there's nothing that I can do while I'm here.
They want her in Cleveland in order to get a new plate and everything that she needs to do, which apparently doesn't make any sense. I mean, going all the way to Cleveland to get her car registered? I doubt that was why she was asked to come. She stated it might just be for the stickers and not the actual registration.
I'm a server at the Cheesecake. I actually just start working there, so.
It's all customer service, right? So the big smile and...
Oh, yeah. I'm used to doing banking, though, so...
She stepped down a little bit to focus on her career. That's pretty impressive. That's a lot of skills she's got. The boot fee would cost her $100 and $150 for the tickets, which in total would cost her $250. Judge Caprio and a motorist fondly reminisce about the golden days of professional wrestling. He was charged with a school zone violation.
At that time, and I have the bill to show, the car was in the care of a garage that was being fixed. It was picked up that morning. Actually, my stepbrother dropped it off that morning at the garage.
It appears that it was actually a test drive. The guy driving went 32 in a 20. According to Mr. Carlo, the guy wasn't trying to speed through a school zone. He just went a little fast. What does that even mean? He apologized to the court that stated that he was throwing himself at the court's will and hoping the situation can be taken care of.
You got the wrestling shirt on. Are you a wrestling fan?
You know what? When I grew up, I loved wrestling.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
I really liked Hulk Hogan.
Judge Frank asked if he ever saw Andre the Giant. He said he hadn't seen him physically, but he had seen him in movies. The judge revealed that he finds it interesting that he's a wrestling fan, and then went further to question what the impact of watching wrestling has done to him.
It made you want to stay in shape because those guys are, all in phenomenal shape. Like I said, growing up, you'd watch this. It was a Saturday morning. Saturday morning wrestling was like, for people my age now, kids growing up, you're like, wow, that was all the rage. We all watched it. We all talked about it. It was a big deal.
Well, I was waiting for one question to be asked, and the judge finally did ask who exactly he rooted for, the good guys or the bad guys. He rooted for the bad guys. Judge Frank mentioned that his kids and their friends always rooted for the bad guys, and it was interesting watching the kids and people behind them at the Civic Center yelling at them for rooting for the bad guys.
We're going to reduce it to court cost. It's going to cost you $35 court cost. Okay?
Okay.
And the last thing on wrestling is that the good guys always don't win. Sometimes the bad guys win too, right? And that's a good lesson for kids, that the good guys always don't win.
Well, it happens both ways, depending on how the script is written. Good guys don't always come out on top. This man was charged with disorderly conduct. According to the police report, the police were on detail and they were drawn to an incident happening on the CVS of Fulton Street. They saw two subjects yelling at each other who appeared to be getting ready to fight.
The police did observe in your hand an orange box cutter, and they saw you taking a fighting stance. As a result, the police were able to subdue you, take the box cutter from your hand, He subsequently discovered that it was not extended, so it wasn't open.
The judge stated that he had the right to be represented by an attorney and was asked if he could afford one. He replied, saying he couldn't afford one. The city would be appointing a public defender for him. Judge Frank also mentioned that the matter would be set down for trial on the 16th of December of that year, and that time there would be an attorney presenting him.
I'm going to plead you not guilty, and I'm going to release you on your own promise to come back on $200 personal recognizance.
Okay.
Judge Frank listed a number of rights he has. Firstly, he has the presumption of innocence. He has the right to have the city prove each and every allegation beyond reasonable doubt. He has the right to present a witness on his behalf and also cross-examine witnesses who may testify against him. And lastly, he has the right against self-incrimination. He also had things to say to his mother.
You know, I was in fault of holding the box cutter, but, you know, this guy was, you know, way bigger than me. So I was just, you know, just holding it just to, you know, if he does swing at me, I would, you know, use it as a weight. You know, that's it.
He didn't have any plans whatsoever on slashing the guy, but then if he had come at him, he might just be able to take him. Judge Frank asked if he was drinking. He explained that he wasn't drinking as he'd just come off work and got on the bus. Inspector Quinn interrupted him, saying he hadn't had the chance to speak with the defendant, but another inspector had given him a report.
I did learn from Inspector Carrigan that it precipitated on the bus. There was some words exchanged or whatever, and it carried out onto the street, at which time the other party was the more aggressive. Unfortunately, as you clearly stated earlier, the other party got away. Unfortunately, the defendant was stuck here. Your Honor, there's been several years since the last police contact, so city wouldn't object to a filing.
Trust Judge Frank to always have his own perspective of how the incident happened. According to him, the case is a marginal situation, and he believes that when the police saw the box cutter, they became extremely concerned. But to their credit, in the police report, it wasn't open.
Yes, it wasn't.
I think this is a matter that we can resolve short of you coming back and having a trial, I think.
Most definitely.
Inspector Quinn recommended as the prosecuting officer that the judge take no action on the case and that he continues it for a period of 6 months. If after the 6 months he has no police contact, the case would then be dismissed, but if not, it would be reactivated. He also doesn't necessarily have to take that option, as there are other options.
You can try the case, you can have a lawyer make a representation on your behalf. I want you to know, I want you to understand that I am not trying, to subvert your constitutional rights. I want you to know them, understand them, and make a
conscious decision.
Make an informed decision.
Yes.
All right. So
Mr. Ford stated that he understands his rights and he accepted the recommendation. This recovering addict spent 27 years in and out of jail, missed his mother's funeral, and now that he's out, can't get a job. Will Judge Caprio give him a break?
I just got out the ACI last year. Did 10 years, and I got my license, and this camera got me twice. The first one I paid because I said maybe I was wrong, don't want to, turn my life around.
He's pretty desperate about getting a job. He wouldn't mind sitting outside holding a cardboard saying, "Can I get a job?" It got so bad he started begging for money. I feel pretty bad for him. What he does centers around warehousing and basically any kind of job.
Yeah, he died. Both my parents died when I was in jail. I thumbed out here when I was 15, went to jail when I was 19, got out when I was 30, went back when I was 31, got out when I was 38. Then I just did 10 more years, and I just got out last year.
He had a few relapses, but he kept getting up. That's the spirit. He also goes to counseling out of his own volition. The fact that he's willing to fix things and become better is impressive. He also requested to see the video of himself.
Carol, bring it up, please. This is Westminster and you probably made a right-hand turn. The light is red,
Blinker on, all right, that's good.
and that's you making a right-hand turn.
Got the blinker on. And that's that same corner everybody else has been getting.
The judge gave him a break on the lights and stated that he wasn't going to charge him, as he didn't want him to do anything that was going to make him desperate. He kept hammering about him wanting a job and how worried he was about getting gas money, transporting himself to and from work, his car insurance expenses, and also how he was going to make the $20 payment to the Superior Court every 2 months.
How much longer are you going to be in the sober house?
I've only been there since last year, so maybe another year.
Really?
Yeah. Go to meetings with all the guys.
I'm really rooting for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You present very well. You did your time.
I'm rooting for him too. It's rare to see someone so motivated even after what he went through. He told the court that he has a mission to go into the streets and help other addicts. He had once picked a girl that was a heroin addict and he let her watch a video about addiction. This made her cry. He then told her how she could get help. How compassionate of him.
Well, the first thing you better do is help yourself.
Right.
And it looks like you're trying to do that.
I am.
Okay, I just want you to know that we're rooting for you
Thank
down
you.
here, okay?
Yep.
And we're going to do what we can to help you. I'm going to dismiss this
All right,
case.
thank you.
Okay? Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
If people came out of prison with a heart like this, with the aim to do better, the world would be a better place. This woman was charged with a parking violation. Originally, she was obstructing traffic.
Well, I was at a home visit, and a lot of my day is spent looking for parking places to visit at-risk families who are pregnant or have infants.
Oh,
And
you're just the person I'm looking for.
She asked if there was by any chance a picture of her car, but no picture was submitted. Inspector Quinn stated that it was handwritten, as he could tell by the ticket in her hand. The only way the situation can be proven is if the officer is brought to court to testify.
Cars got around my car for an hour and a half, so...
Were you double parked? Where were you parked?
No, I was parked at the side of the road, and I looked really carefully for any signs that said no parking.
The thing that impresses me is this is her first ticket.
It appeared that the city hadn't given the judge a forward, even with the fact that the officer wasn't a parking enforcement officer. Now the question is whether or not the police officer is going to be brought in. Since that's the only way we could get clarity, it'd only be right if he's brought in. What do you think?
Have the city pay him, I don't know, whatever they're going to pay him.
I'd like to meet him, actually.
You do?
Yes. I feel like this was kind of random, and I was shocked because...
You want to come back and have a trial?
No, I don't.
Well, that's the way you're going to meet him.
Oh, no, thank you.
Judge Frank was ready to dismiss the case until she interrupted him, saying she wanted to meet the officer. She almost shot herself in the foot right there. The matter was dismissed as the city didn't provide enough evidence to convict her.
Is it okay if I say one more thing about the excessive? It's a lot, $75 for people in that area. That could be their entire food budget for the week.
Judge Frank replied to her saying on normal grounds they shouldn't be parking obstructing traffic because it has consequences. Judge Caprio asks a professional comedian to help him come to a conclusion on a motorist case. He was asked if he recalled going through a red light. He responded saying he did and went further to explain what happened.
You recall this?
I was bringing my friend to work. That's why I tried to beat the light, but it turned red when I went.
Oh, you had a passenger in the car?
Yeah, if you can try to, on the picture, if you kind of see on here, there's some guy like in a hat on right next to me. That's why I tried to bring him to work.
The picture doesn't really give enough information, but looking closer, I could see the guy in a hat. Let's see what exactly happened.
Oh, this is a tough one. I can't make a decision on this one. Well, you know what? Occasionally, when I have trouble deciding a case, I ask for help,
Yeah, it's understandable.
right? So I'm going to ask for some help. You don't mind if I ask somebody to help me, do you?
It's up to you.
Trust Judge Frank to give us his own scenarios. He had attended a performance at a comedy club last night, and a very talented individual named Dibitetto was featured. According to him, it was a very enjoyable evening. They all had a great time. It appears that the judge had the pleasure of meeting this comedian personally, and he's in court today.
Now, he's a performer, but he's a very compassionate guy sometimes, and other times he's not.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of a mood he's in today, but he's in the audience. So I'm going to ask Vic if you come up here and help me decide this case.
After playing the clip again, he believed the car was following the bus because there was a family member in there and they needed to make sure they got to their destination in time. He then asked what kind of hat the other guy was wearing, as that was the main issue, according to him.
Adidas hat.
Adidas.
Yeah.
See, if it was a Red Sox hat, I'd let him go. But Adidas, I wear Puma, so that's up to you, Judge. You're a compassionate guy.
Before you make a decision, now tell us what you do.
The judge requested he tell the court what he did before making a decision. He stated that he was a comedian and he makes people laugh. He also thanked Judge Frank for coming to his show. They actually are a good match and they have something in common. They both make people feel better.
How many years you been in business?
35 years.
35 years. Where you from?
Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
That's why I was hoping it was a Yankee hat, but I know I'm in enemy territory, so that's why I said Red Sox hat.
All right.
I might be funny, but I'm not stupid.
The judge acknowledged that the comedian made a very pointed observation. He was actually obstructed by the bus as he was right behind the bus. Based on that observation, the matter was dismissed.